Ready, Slim Pickens?
Slim Pickens. What is that? What is Slim Pick? What does that mean?
Slim Pickens, like you're Slim Pickens. You're not Slim. You're not Pickens, but put together, you're Slim Pickens. Like you're the last one to get picked. Slim Pickens.
Most of my childhood, I was the last one to get picked. I was fucking tall and scrawny.
Do you need a psychologist?
I wouldn't pick me last now, though.
I would for like fucking long distance running.
I think we're both at the back of that ship.
Wind sprints.
I think we're both at the back of that ship.
Basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah.
I got like a foot on you.
Dude, I'd fucking dunk on your ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's measure some hops then.
How did I can't say I jump.
Huh?
I can't say I'm jump. I just big body your ass.
Oh, well, you're going to push me around on the court.
Low and fat is better than tall and fat.
Really? We're going to have
to. You said you're 280?
Yeah.
Well, I take out knees, dude. Take knees out. I undercut people. I'm dirty.
Uh-huh.
And there's just a bunch of fucking tofu eating, fucking man bun wearing dorks and no pussy at all. Yeah.
Hold down, baby! Woo! Is he down? Is he a big one? Is he down? Real on the truck, trying to get the damn shot.
Bullshit, man. Look at the thing.
Farm wearing shorts. Yeah. That sack fucking hanging out. Don't fucking doubt the fucking 6 millimeter. Shoot him, shoot him. All right, hold on.
Let's go.
Those fucking Amish would have shot that motherfucker.
Got a face only mother can love.
That's crazy.
Hello.
Is this Ward?
It is.
Ward, you're on the Shoot Time podcast with Ryan and Jake. How you doing today?
All right. How's it going, fellas?
Good. We have the Around the Campfire segment, and I hear you have a good story.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I know that the premise is like a hunting fail, so this might deviate from that a little bit, but hey, it got approved. You guys just got back from South Africa, so you have that fresh in your mind. I've got a good friend who lives there, and he's born and raised South African. They're farmers, and I've had the pleasure of being able to go over there as a buddy / tourist instead of a full-fledged tourist. And I've been over there a handful of times, and I got married, and I took my wife over there, and my buddy and I were at some, like, I guess, deer camp equivalent of a South African bush camp. And we had way too much to drink, and we ate a bunch of food, and we partied till about 3 a.m. And this was after we had our guns unloaded, after we were hunting, of course. And we woke up the next morning. It was like that scene from The Hangover. Everyone's just kind of like looking around, and it's pretty rough. And
people are half
I walk
naked.
outside.
No pants.
Basically. I walk outside, and I see my buddy, and I'm like, and he's just standing there real quiet, real calm, and he's smoking a cigarette. And it's like a scene from a movie. And you could tell he had something on his mind. And I was like, hey, man. And he's like, hey. And I went, and you could just hear in the background, you could hear this. And I don't know how to explain it. It was like the most faint. It was way far off in a distance. And it was the most like faint chanting you'd ever heard. It was just like over and over and over again. You couldn't hear what it was. Kind of sounded like a church choir. Kind of sounded like a high school football game mixed together. And I was like, I could hear it, and he was listening to it, and it just got stranger and stranger and louder and louder. And my buddy takes one last drag of a cigarette, puts it on the ground, stomps on it, and goes, we need to get the fuck out of here now, mate. And I was like, oh shit. And I didn't know what to think. And I was like, holy shit, we got to go. So I run into the room that my wife was sleeping in. She's not notorious for getting up early, especially after a long night. I woke her up. I said, Andre says we need to get the fuck out of here now. And she jumped up. We were packed up so fast. We grab our bags, we run out the door. My buddy's in the Hilux. Hilux is running. He's like, come on, gotta go, get the fuck, go, move. We get in the car, we take off. Dust, rocks, kicked up, flying everywhere. We get to the gate. I open the gate. We drive out. We take a right on the main highway. And as we're turning right on the main highway, my buddy points at this convoy of trucks. Goes, there they are. I fucking knew it. And it was just Hilux, one after another. Instead of ISIS dudes hanging out of it, it was fucking Boer guys with 30-06s. There was a helicopter in the air. And what was happening is that there was a big farm raid. And I don't know if you guys have dove into that part of South African politics yet, but there was a big farm murder. And basically they got on the emergency WhatsApp, since the South African police won't even acknowledge that it happened, let alone respond to it, and said like, hey, we're in trouble. We're going to get murdered. And the whole civilian posse was coming to the rescue. And it was a sight to be seen. About 30 Hiluxes completely loaded down with country ass looking motherfuckers, all holding bolt actions. And like I said, there was a Robinson in the air, an R-44, just like one of those, deer counting, game counting helicopters. And turned out they did kill a farmer, and those guys got there in time to like save the family. And they, I think there are a few of the opposing team not living anymore.
Who killed the farmer?
It's like an indigenous, it's a political mess in South Africa, like everything else. But basically, it's like an indigenous, local South Africans don't like white farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel that they took their land and stuff like that, which is a whole nother conversation. So they basically, and I might be butchering this, it's worth a Google. They basically like go and raid these farms and burn the crops and kill everybody. But according to the South African media, it doesn't exist.
Damn.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, can't remember Neil's dad's name, but he kind of like hinted to some of that when we were there. He owned the farm that we hunted on, and he kind of hinted that sometimes like they're like a group of posse of like kind of like Black Lives Matter in America. They just storm in and murk people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Burn the farm, burn the house down, kill the women, kill the children.
Yeah, this is similar to him telling us basically that you can set up a dwelling on any property in South Africa, and if it's there for 72 hours, it's a permanent residence.
Yeah, crazy.
It can be on
there's
anybody's
some goofy
property.
laws.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that was real. And it's crazy because it was like an Airbnb of a deer camp, if that makes sense. So that wasn't his community. That wasn't his group of friends because we weren't in his part of town. And I asked him, I was like, do y'all have that same service in your town? He's like, oh, absolutely. Which is why he knew exactly what was going on.
So they put out like a Mayday call on a WhatsApp kind of deal. And then
like this is Fred Johnson. My farm is, I'm looking out the window and there are some gentlemen outside that look pretty unhappy to see me help. I only have one bolt action 30-06.
Huh. So it's all the farmers bound in together to protect each other. I wonder who had the helicopter.
I don't know. They were chasing.
There's some pretty big farms out there. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not uncommon.
Then I bet your wife was like, I want to never come back here again.
Funny enough, I think she just tucked that away along with the trauma of being married to me in the first place, and just chose to not ever think about it.
Did you guys join up and help?
No, that's the thing. We're so hungover. I'm like, what is happening? And he's like, we got to go right now.
Bullets
and then by the
about to
time
start
we
flying.
Hydrated, he was like, yeah, so here's what you just saw.
I don't care what country you're in. Every person that can and should own multiple AR-15s.
Right. And like to this day, that was like 9 years ago. To this day, I do kind of feel like a bitch. But again, it's like not, when the big South African dude who I've known this guy forever, he is not afraid. There's a very small list of things he's afraid of. And the fact that he's like, we're fucking leaving.
Yeah. If Neil had stood up and said that shit, like we're fucking going right now.
Yes.
Nobody would ask questions.
No, like you saying how that went down where he's smoking a cigarette, just listening. And he's like, we got to get the fuck out of here now. That kind of resonates. If Neil was saying that to us, we'd be like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here.
It is 100% a scene from a movie. He just calmly put it down and was just like, we got to get the fuck out of here now.
That's insane. Well,
And,
that wasn't the story we were thinking about, but that was a damn good one. So I appreciate it.
And you're a good storyteller too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, I've been dying. I love y'all's show, and it's getting to the point where I'm gonna just fly up to Post Falls one day and just invite myself. So this could be a precursor.
Well,
so thanks for having me.
If you got any better stories than that, then you're welcome to come on.
Right on.
Where are you
just
from?
Make shit up. I live in North Texas. I live in Fort Worth.
Oh, nice. I was just down to the Dallas game when they lost to Baltimore. Piece of shit.
Who don't they lose to?
I'm
lots of people.
Yeah. Hey, I got no dog in that fight. I've got my own problems. I'm an Ole Miss fan, so all I do is lose. So I don't even try.
They just shit the bed too.
Yeah. That's why I hunt in the fall, because I can just be mad at myself instead of an entire team.
That's why I hunt and drink.
Well, congratulations, boys! Your podcast is just awesome. Y'all have. It's not too hard to start a podcast, but it's hard to get it popular. And you boys are really showing out. I really, really admire y'all for that.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We appreciate your time and effort, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Thanks, sir.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, it's me and Jake and Form Jr. today. If you don't know who Form Jr. is, you got to go to our YouTube channel. While you're there, subscribe, and you can see Form Jr. He doesn't say a lot.
Check out Seat 4. This is the best version of Form that we like, the one that doesn't talk.
Yeah, he's a nosy fucker, but he doesn't say much.
He's even got his nose up like he's better than you.
Yeah, he's better than your ass. Form Jr.
That's funny
much
shit.
to say today.
We shouldn't talk so much shit without him here to defend himself.
When he's here, we'll say Form Jr.
Yeah.
When we have him here again,
Yeah.
everybody's going to know what I'm saying now, but we need to have him in here and say, why can't you be more like Form Jr.?
Oh, good Lord. That's funny shit.
The funny story about if you don't know, Jake had bought a stuffed wolf, 2 stuffed wolves, soft-mounted wolves. They're basically wolves that were trapped, and then they basically make them into a stuffed animal.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was funny because we build websites. If you need a website built, check out shoothunt.com. Come get a website built. We do a great job at a very reasonable price. But I thought it was funny because we had a realtor group come in, and the door was open, and we were talking, so they didn't want to come in. So there's 3 ladies standing out in like the entryway. And she's like, oh, I just want to go grab that puppy. I said, well, it's dead. Did you hear me?
No, we did talk about those. So me and Jess just put some Halloween shit up at the house.
Yeah.
And I said, this year, I may or may not be home, but I want to sit on the porch swing and I want to scare the shit out of people, right?
Yes.
And then she mentioned you ought to bring the wolves home with you. I said, dude, between the wolves and the bear, we can scare some fucking kids.
Put them on your swing and shit like there. Oh, fuck yeah.
Like I'll just put the 2 wolves like laying down, like guarding the entry to get up to the candy.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to mess
like
with
inside of your doorway.
Yep.
That's like the 3rd time that somebody thought the dog was the wolf was alive.
Yeah.
I thought it was just.
So we actually had them posted up. We had 2 chairs over on the retail store side, and he was sitting across the chairs with his arms up over, like he was sitting there staring at the front door. And then finally there was this little girl that opened the front door, and she was frozen solid, just staring.
Look at it.
And she just started crying. And after that, I took the wolf out of there. Yeah.
Well, she's like, oh, I thought that thing was laying there really nicely for a long time.
That's a well-trained dog. It's going to eat your ass too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they are fucking.
So we were just talking, and you were basically telling me that short and fat is better than tall and fat. Was that the discussion?
No. I'm talking about leverage. So
this is leverage.
I'm never going to claim that I played basketball well.
But
one thing I do well is I'm short and portly.
Okay.
And I get some leverage on some taller folks. Played a lot of Hoop Fest.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like in the game of leverage, the longer bar has more leverage.
Okay, but the bar is not picking like.
You're talking about center of gravity. Not really leverage, center of gravity.
I get my ass like a foot from the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's center of gravity.
Weigh me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So my fulcrum is lower.
Actually, what do you weigh now? You look a little portly.
230.
Are you hike ready? Like, are you ready to drop in? Like,
no.
But
I'll be fine. Like my fitness plan is hunting.
Hi, I'm Brent Jarbo, CEO of ADG. For the past decade, we've been dedicated to crafting the highest quality, 100% American-made rifle brass to meet all your hunting and long-range shooting needs. This year, we're excited to introduce our new 6.8 Western and 270 WSM cases. With over 250 years of combined industry experience, we're committed to excellence. Look for our distinct orange boxes wherever you buy your reloading supplies. Whenever you need quality rifle cartridge cases, choose ADG Premium Rifle Brass, where precision meets performance.
That's true. So it takes a few days to get up to speed.
I gotta like,
You gotta get your trail legs.
between. I was just telling Tanya this because I was like 228, and I was like, I bet you by the time the end of November hits, I'll be like 205. Just because what I'm gonna do. So.
Yeah.
It's not the easy way to do it, but it's not the preferred method, but it works.
Yeah.
It's a method.
I guess you could schedule your hunts in a way that the kind of easier hikes are up front to get your legs
What I
under
worry
you.
about like is now it's not even like being out of shape. I'm not totally out of shape. I've hiked the blocks. We hiked the blocks the other day. We hiked to the top the other day, and it's all right. I'm not doing it record speed, but I can do it. It's fucking like my Achilles from last year. I always think about it. It doesn't hurt now, but it's like, what, because I didn't have a routine and continue on. Is that all going to tweak and then I'm fucked, So
I thought it was interesting. So I was telling you that I'm doing the stair stepper right now. I can do about 50 minutes on it. But then Jessica still needed 3,000 steps to hit her 10,000 the other night. So it's like 8 o'clock and I go on a walk with her. Well, we're walking along and about a mile in, my lower back is hurting.
yeah.
I have no breath. Like I literally not even breathing yet. Like, so no cardio issues at all, but just the walking part is worse on the low back than the stepper, which I thought was interesting.
Yes. I noticed like I'll walk on the trail. I try to hit 12, like the last month and a half, I've tried to hit like 12,000 steps a day just to move. So I'll do the last part on the treadmill at my house just to get to the last 2,000 or 3,000 steps. But I can do that. I can actually do all 12,000 and I can do like 20-degree angle on my treadmill. Not a problem, dude. If I fucking hike up to Canfield, dude, the next day my lower back hurts when I walk, no matter what. I don't know why. Fat and out of shape, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're not, I say I'm fat. I don't think you're just taller than me in your bulk. You're like more muscly than me, but it's still like, you got to carry that shit, man. So you got to get that shit in shape. And
that's why I don't do we do a little bit of leg workout, but I don't do too much. It's almost like I want to be thick up top, but still be able to hike.
That doesn't even make sense.
Well, because dude, something like Mason's legs are twice the size of mine. Like if we did legs all the time, like we can deadlift and squat 315 for sets, anytime that we want to, basically. But if I was to focus on building that, like building up here, then you got to move that every step, right? Like you're moving the mass.
How much do you weigh right now?
Right now, like 270.
So you're down a little bit. You were like 285.
Well, because I've been off the sauce for about 10 weeks now, so I lost about 10 pounds of muscle.
Are you going back in?
I think after hunting. Okay. So the reason I haven't been like, I really wanted to do like a professional cycle, macros, blood work, all this kind of shit, but I haven't had an extended period of time where we're not doing nothing. So I think December, January, February is going to be the good time for me.
Did you buy the fucking carb killer shit that I showed you?
No, definitely plan to though, because what you described was exactly the problem I have when I'm trying to overeat.
Yeah, like basically, I don't know.
I do have a funny story about that though. So we were just going to Mason's football game.
Okay.
And so Jessica is on what they call the Biggest Loser Challenge. It's a group thing they do within the gym. So all these girls sign up and they do the full body scan where they can tell you like how much fat is in your arm, how much fat is in each leg, and all that kind of shit. They do this all this measurement shit that they track throughout I think it's a 90-day program, or maybe it's 60 days. So anyway, so part of what she has to do is obviously watch what she eats and all that kind of shit. So we drove down to Mason's football game and she didn't have her meal with her. So the plan was to stop and get her like a little salad or a grilled chicken sandwich or something, that she can eat. So the first thing that pops up down there was McDonald's. So we pull into this McDonald's.
This in Moscow or Lewiston?
This is in Lewiston.
Okay.
Like real close to the high school.
Okay.
So we pull in the drive-thru and we're looking at the menu and they don't have no salads. They don't have no grilled chicken sandwich. They don't have like a fit menu. Like there is nothing on the menu that looks like what you can eat, right? So I just get on there and I just say, I'll take a grilled chicken sandwich, please. Oh, sir, we don't have those. Well, how about a salad? You guys got like a chicken salad? No, we don't have any salads. So I literally said, so you mean you just have fat people food? She starts laughing on the other end, and then we pull up to the window, the girl that was on the microphone there, she's like a twig. She must have weighed 60 pounds soaking wet, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but literally, all that shit that used to be there that would be some not even healthy, but somewhat healthy, right?
Yeah.
Like literally not a fucking salad. Everybody has a salad.
They don't have a fucking salad.
There was not a fucking salad or a grilled chicken sandwich. There wasn't anything that wasn't fried or just
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
No options at all.
Sodium packed.
So I got her a double quarter pounder with cheese, and she just ate the meat. That was
So,
the solution.
Are you saying that American corporations want us fat?
I'm saying that they used to have grilled chickens and fucking salads, and now they're gone. I mean, how hard it is to keep a little fridge in the back of McDonald's with like 4 salads in it if that's what you sell in a week. You can't tell me that they can't sell at least 1 salad a week. To me, that's fucking horseshit. But that's where it's going, right?
I was trying to think because I went to Wendy's the other day because Tanya really likes they make a fucking baked potato. They have
Yeah.
potato with chives and shit.
Yeah.
I can't remember seeing a salad on there, but you know what they do have now that is pretty damn good?
Huh.
Goddamn fat kids. Fucking chicken wings.
Yes.
They're fucking pretty
No,
good.
they're called the
Chicken bites, maybe?
saucy nugs.
Saucy nugs.
Saucy nugs.
I knew it.
I
One
only
fat-
know because of Mason.
One fat guy. Dude,
It's you to Mason, man. You two are like 2 fat kids in a pod.
Dude, I will say this: if Mason likes it, chances are I like it. But
That's right.
the problem is, I grossly underestimated the size of them. I overestimated the size of them.
Oh,
Because
yes.
they are little.
Yeah. You get like a little 4-pack. It's like a little snack.
Well, because Tanya's like, well, there's a 45 piece or a 52 piece, and I was like, that's a lot.
52 pieces.
But yeah.
Mason would put it down.
Oh fuck! I think I could take it. Mason probably eat more than me, but I think I could take it. But they're little, but they are
Yeah.
fucking. They have spicy barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh goddamn.
It was good.
Yeah.
Literally pulled up to the fucking. So you only have fat people food?
That could have went either way. Because if you'd have had a there's some. You've been to McDonald's. There's some honeys working there.
I didn't think about who was on the other end of it. I just thought that, fuck, man, are you literally telling me you ain't got a salad back there?
Well, that's where the McDonald 20s came from, right? You remember that? You heard
Uh-uh.
that? I don't remember who told me. So if you were the person, you could tell me and take credit for it. But we're driving down the road and this lady was slow passing us. We're going hunting. I can't remember who was with me. This is a couple years ago. And he looks over and he goes, oh shit, that lady's got McDonald 20s and her fucking arms are like that.
Oh.
And he calls McDonald, there's 24s or McDonald 30s.
Uh-huh.
He says, those are 20s, big old fat arm woman.
Oh, shit.
So
It happened.
McDonald's 20s.
Yeah. That wasn't me.
I got a quick story too. I went to Dallas and you know the story.
Mm.
And my son brought his pistol up. We were doing Airbnb. He lives in Texas. He brought his pistol up, keep us nice and safe at the Airbnb. Because if you ever read the stories, there are a lot of fucking people fucking steal and rob from fucking people at Airbnbs because they know what's going on.
Yeah.
So he lives in town. Anyways, he came up and he left in a bit. He had a new job and he's trying to get out of there after Dallas. We went to a Dallas Cowboys game and he's trying to get out of there really fast. And he did. And I was sitting there thinking after he left, he's about 3 hours away by now. I was like, fuck, I bet you he left his fucking pistol because it was actually in my room on my nightstand. And I walk in there and the pistol's sitting there. And I'm like, motherfucker.
And you guys flew.
We flew. It's like 11 o'clock at 10 o'clock at night after the game. We fly out at 5 in the morning the next morning. So I'm telling Tanya, we got to get a lock, try to find a lockbox and lock. So the McDonald's or the Walmart's not very far. She walks down to the Walmart. Can't find a box, which blows me away because I went and looked here now at the Walmart here. They have lock boxes for pistols, TSA approved lock boxes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have one. She tries to make a drug deal with the guy at the gun counter, but it finds out his stuff isn't TSA approved either. So, she buys some locks, brings them home, and I'm like, well, we're going to have to push our flights back. So it was me and Tanya, my daughter Aubrey, and her fiance Cody. So anyways, long story short, we have to push our flights back till noon. We let Cody and Aubrey stay on the original 5 in the morning flight. I go down to a gun store bright and early with an Uber because we don't have a car. My son had the car and he went home the night before. I Uber down to the gun store. I buy a TSA approved gun case. Bring it home, put the gun in there, put the locks in there. The fucking shanks are too long. You can literally open up the fucking TSA thing, pull the pistol out. So, all right, Tanny, I'm fucking packing my shit because now we got to get going and get to the airport. Airport's about 40 minutes away. And she Ubers down to the Home Depot. And she sees the locks, and in the back of my hand is like, and I'm not blaming her because she should have fucking took the actual case with her. And she comes back and she thought she bought smaller shanks, which she did not. You can open up the case. She's like, well, fuck it. We're out of time now. We're all Ubering to the Home Depot with all of our luggage on the way to the airport. So she stands outside. I go and I get them and I put them in there and I lock them all up. And, we're sweating bullets. We're going to get there on time. We're literally cutting it really close. We get to the airport. I check it in to fucking, we're flying Southwest. I check it in and they say, well, just stand there because I don't have TSA approved locks because they suck. They break a lot. So I stand there. And I walk up and I was like, is it going to get checked? And the lady's like, the lady had switched out from the lady I talked to and I checked the gun and she's like, oh, they'll find you. Just go. So I go. I get on the plane. We fly home and I show up in Spokane, Washington. I go up to the Southwest counter and I'm like, I have a gun, a pistol. I checked in. She's okay. I'll come through this door. You got to show your ID. So I'm sitting there. It's like 20 fucking minutes. And I look over and there it is on the conveyor belt.
With the regular luggage.
Regular fucking luggage. And I said, hey, my pistol's right there. She's like, well, that's not how it's supposed to be. And I was like, no shit. So I walk over. She said, we got to tell this cop and he's got to see your ID because that's like, it's some kind of fucking transfer thing didn't happen. Like you're supposed to have total control of that pistol through a certain, like, I don't know who does what to what, but basically they have to be in control and know where they are by the fucking people to pull it off the fucking line. Anyway, so the pistol never even got checked in as a firearm and it just rolled out on the thing. So all that shit, I mean, you can't hope that happens. Yeah. Nothing got checked.
And if you wouldn't have said nothing to her, you just would have walked over there on the conveyor belt and grabbed it.
But I thought it was funny because there's 3 locks on this little tiny fucking case. Nobody checked it in. Nobody checked it at all.
It's obviously a weapon.
Oh,
looking at it.
Well, I showed it to them at the fucking in Dallas. They had me open it up, sign the little card, but it went right on the plane as a non-checked firearm, came out. So that tells you.
And remind me, how much did Dallas win by in that game?
They lost by 3. Wow. You got to cut. You got to fucking cut deep.
That's because I don't watch football. I just know it's important to you.
I like.
So I got to talk some shit.
Yeah, but how much did Mason lose by in his game?
Oh, fucker. It was 12-8.
And you said it was. So people don't know we live in Coeur d'Alene, Post Falls area. So
at the tippy top of Idaho.
Yep, Lewiston's kind of the lowest point. They're in Hell's Canyon. That's where all this smells like shit because that's where all the shit rolls.
Dude.
It's 918 feet above sea level. Lowest port in Idaho. They have the worst. I grew up in Post Falls, played sports my whole life. They are the worst officiating in fucking Idaho.
It was horrible.
It was. They are.
Our coaches were so pissed. Our coaches were getting flagged.
Everybody says like, oh, this is no. Whatever happens in Lewiston, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, the worst officiating in high school sports is out of fucking Lewiston, Idaho.
And of course, it's always if you happen to lose and, you have a kid on the fucking team, of course, it's the ref's fault, all that kind of shit. But the drive that they had so they had 2 touchdowns with 6 points each and they missed their extra points or whatever. We had 1 touchdown, but we had a 2-point conversion. So it's 12-8. The second 6 points were on the drive where all the coaches got flagged. They called us for like 2 personal fouls in a row. It was just like literally flags brought them down the field. So it's pretty tough to watch.
Refs, this is my opinion. I played, my daughter played at a high level, been to lots of fucking girls basketball games. The ref isn't there to decide the game.
Yeah.
And too often or not, I think they are.
Yeah. They're there to officiate and enforce the rules.
Enforce the rules, not to fucking decide the game. And too often they do. That's unfortunate.
And you got to realize, because I could just picture you being a ref. And the moment some motherfucker mouthed off, you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get you, motherfucker. You just wait. You just wait.
So, funny story. Here's an absolutely true story. Aubrey played basketball at lots of places, AAU-wise. And she played high school basketball. And she played basketball. I bet you the girl played 3,000 or 4,000 games in her life that I attended. And it's funny, if they didn't know me and Tanya, which you know me and Tanya, they would all be real close to us in the stands. But after about 1 quarter of basketball, there would be nobody sitting around us anymore.
I could imagine.
And the refs knew exactly who we were.
Yeah.
So yes, we were, unfortunately and fortunately, we are those parents.
That's funny shit.
And our voices, like my voice seems scary. I know your voice, Gary's. They hear you.
Yeah.
They know you're there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did quite a bit. I lost my voice that game. I did quite a bit of yelling. So that it was the game was over. It's like, Mace, did you hear me when I was yelling at you? He said, Dad, everybody heard you.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Like, we were playing in Hermiston, Oregon at AAU tournament, and there's this girl, she fouled out in the first 6 minutes of the first quarter.
Oh, shit.
And when she fouled out, of course, classic timing, she was just like fucking people up like an enforcer, just clotheslining, slamming it. It got real quiet right when I said, get that freak show off the court. And fucking the whole fucking all looked up at me in the fucking stadium basketball court. Yeah.
That's funny shit.
Yeah. So it happens. But that's actually not what our podcast's about.
No.
We're already fucking a whole bunch in and we're not even to the fucking actual
We're supposed to talk about like shooting or hunting or something.
Okay. So we're bad about this and we're trying to get better. And now we have Emily and she's really good at bringing us the questions. If you have questions, the easiest way to get your questions answered is fucking to go to the speak pipe. Ask through the speak pipe. We try to hit all of those that are relevant. There are some fucking stupid ones that come in. We're not going to air those.
If it's a certain level of stupid, it might be worth airing.
It's funny stupid.
Yeah, funny stupid is acceptable.
Yeah, and or marketing at podcast at shoottohunt.com, and it's the number 2.
And she's got quite a list for us to go over today.
Yeah, we better get to it. So those are the 2 ways to get your questions answered. We're going to try to do these once a month. I keep saying that. We're actually going to try because we have a lot of questions.
Yeah. Maybe next time too, Emily, put the names on those questions so we can recognize people.
Give a name.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, you got the first.
Okay. Can you get new brass to be as accurate and consistent as fire-formed reloaded brass? Like you guys, I have switched to just shooting new brass all the time. I like that I can get more speed out of it without getting more pressure signs. So to start, I don't necessarily, I wouldn't say that I shoot new brass all the time. Like that's like the way I do it. I would just say that most of the time our loads end up so hot that they may only get 1 or 2 or 3 firings on them. And for that reason, or if the South African motherfucker tells you got to throw your shit in the trash, we use new brass.
Yeah, I'm with Jay. I have a fire form. I've been shooting a lot of 6UM, so everything's not new brass because there wasn't any for a while. Now there is, but I get 5 or 6 firings and I do not really see a difference.
Yeah, so that's if you're going to do load development, especially on like a Wildcat, you want to make sure your brass is formed first. But the same idea as a Wildcat also applies to SAMI cartridges. It really depends on the quality of brass that you start with. So if we pretend that you're starting with ADG brass, thick, heavy duty, very consistent off the line brass, and very consistent from lot to lot. Something that Marlon and those guys over there will tell you that they pride themselves on lot-to-lot consistency and monitoring tool wear and things like that so that you can literally have different lots of brass and end up with the same load. But basically, if your brass is very consistent from piece to piece as it's new, then that load's going to be very consistent to start. And then depending on the difference in dimensions between the chamber in your rifle and the brass itself, if there's a big difference in dimensions, then you can see a load change and a velocity drop between new brass and once fired. So like I said, I end up using, not on this 657 PRC that's in front of us now because it's a Wildcat, but like on my 300 rum, we do end up using new brass quite a lot just because of a really high pressure load and we pretty much blow the primer pockets out. And like I said, that brass is so consistent from piece to piece and lot to lot that we don't see, any high ESSD, anything like that, using just new brass. But that's not the goal for everybody, right? That's almost kind of like, it's almost like asshole-ish to kind of say that I only shoot new brass.
Yes.
Well, brass is the most expensive part of your new ammo. Mm-hmm. So if you have the ability to save, $200 to $300 on 100 pieces of loaded ammo, you definitely should be doing that. So,
yeah, when I shot a lot of 300 runs and I burnt up a lot of barrels, and I would get like 7 to 9 firings with Remington brass, and I don't think Remington brass was that great a quality. So
no.
You take an ADG brass, like to me now, like I used to always think, well, I need to get a good amount of brass for whatever I want to shoot, say whatever cartridge, 300 Ultra, 300 WSM, 270.
There's only one cartridge for you.
Yeah, there is now. Well, 223 I shoot a lot, but I don't keep any of that brass. It's usually just loaded. Anyways, but the point is you need to acquire the brass first. We've talked about this before you decide on which cartridge you're going to make. But before there was very small, in my opinion, of good brass. You had 2 or 3 dude, now you have 3 or 4 manufacturers that are really good.
Yeah. But like you were saying about acquiring 200 pieces during like the COVID times when brass was really short, if you were thinking about building a new rifle and you couldn't get brass for 2 years, there was really no point to start that build until you had your brass, in your hand.
But too often than not, you have people fucking, even through you, that they build whatever rifle and they're like, oh, I need brass.
Yeah.
Luckily right now you're pretty flush, but you go back in COVID, even if you go back to like the 2009, 2010, you couldn't find shit.
Yeah.
A brick of fucking 22 is going for like $100.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of an afterthought for guys now because the market's pretty saturated.
Yeah, so acquire the brass and like I really love ADG. You really love ADG. Peterson's great brass. Lapua is obviously good brass. Hornady, not so much. Bertram, I imported and sold Bertram for 3 years. I wouldn't fucking use that for paperweight.
No.
They had some good pieces, but their quality control just went to shit.
Yeah. So then to talk about velocity too with new versus fired brass, he says, I can get more speed out of it without getting pressure signs. Well, what's happening there is
jumping forward.
Yeah, that brass is a lot smaller dimensions than what your chamber is to start. So that means that your case capacity is lower. So for the same amount of powder, you have a higher pressure inside the case, which ends up with more velocity. Of course, then you get a lot of brass movement, and that's not really the goal for reloading. You want the least amount of brass movement possible in between firings. But let's say, like on my 300 rum, it's 3,100 feet a second on new brass. But if I reload that brass, it drops to about 30-40. So if you guys wanted to continue shooting that load at 30-40, you're going to want to come back up to your velocity node of 3,100. You're going to add a little bit of powder in there because that case capacity is slightly bigger to get your pressure back up. And generally, when you guys do load development, it's a certain bullet at a certain speed that your rifle likes. So as you jump between that new brass and that first fire, just add a few kernels in there and get your velocity back to where you started. So it might change your load just slightly. Okay.
All right.
Go for it.
Why do you guys prefer?
Go ahead. You got it.
Why do you guys prefer F1 and mils over F2 and MOA? So it's first focal plane versus second focal plane and mils versus MOA. It seems like that's a reoccurring question. So to me, I'll jump in there first. The first focal plane is I used to not care so much. I used on the focal plane, but the more I shoot, the more you go with what you know and you go with what you're used to shooting. And people that say I've never had a problem shooting first focal or second focal plane, at longer distances. It doesn't matter to me if you're shooting in. Most of my shooting until like 2008, 2009 was 400 and in. It doesn't really matter. But the farther you go out, those subtensions changing, I think you got to really start looking at, if I do this and I don't catch it in the heat of moment, it could cause me to miss. So to me, first focal plane just simplifies that. It's through the whole magnification. It's the same subtensions.
Yeah.
So that's why I prefer the F1.
Basically, you're talking about holding wind or elevation in the reticle.
Yes.
So basically with a second focal plane, you have to be at full magnification to use the tensions in the reticle. There are some scopes. There is a Nightforce NX8 4-32 where it has a 16 and a 32 on the top and the bottom, so you can be at either one.
One's double. And
yes.
One's one. Yeah.
Yes. But then again, you're still having to use brain power there that normally we don't have when there's a deer or an elk standing in front of us. To make sure you're on 16 or 32 exactly to hold wind in the reticle.
Yeah. People are under this impression that everything just dies in these one shots. You watch YouTube, a lot of times that happens, but you've witnessed it. I witnessed it. Once that first shot happens, stuff tends to go to shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to be fucking around with where's my magnification at. I just want to know it's going to work if I got to have a wind hold or I'm holding the dial.
Yeah. I mean, if I was spotting you and you fucking miss half an elk left, I probably would say it just like that. I said, dude, you're a fucking half an elk left and you're good at wind. So you would automatically add mils in the reticle and fucking send one as quick as possible. I mean, maybe the elk is just about to move or maybe he's already on the move, but that second shot, usually you want happening as quick as possible.
Yep. And it goes back to like the drop. It's about eliminating variables.
Yeah. And
eliminating variables under stress is even better. So that's why I prefer F1. And the MOA mils thing, we beat this horse to death. I was a big MOA guy. You can definitely kill tons of shit in MOA. I'm not going to tell you can't, but quick drop and wind brackets. That's why I prefer mils. That's a whole nother topic you can go into. And we have a bunch of shit on Rockslide. We have a bunch of shit on Shoot Ton about it in other podcasts, and you can easily go find that information.
I would also say that under pressure when you're hunting, the whole idea of the wind brackets and the drops and things like that, there are fantastic ideas. But if you're not practiced enough to remember and use those things in the field when it counts, most guys, in my opinion, most guys are not going to use that because literally they're just going to be in the heat of the moment and that shit doesn't even come up in your brain. Of course, there are guys that they live that shit and use it all the time. And yeah, that's going to pop up under pressure because that's what your job has been or something, right? So if you take away the extra tools like you just mentioned from MIL, there's not like this big advantage of MIL over MOA. In the end, your calculator is telling you what to do. This is what I was telling somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then technically MOA is a finer graduation than MIL. It's 4 clicks instead of 3.
Yep.
So taking the tools away that you may or may not use in the field, either one, your calculator is going to tell you what to do.
But I would counter that with this. You can't shoot that difference, the 3 to 4.
Yeah.
But here's what I do like that simplifies the MIL about in the heat of the moment. And I've seen this fuck up from multiple people. And a lot of this shit only matters, and we don't prioritize this enough in long range situations. When shit goes bad, is when you're at 1,000 yards, you're shooting 800 yards, and you have to dial up to 18 3/4, or you have to dial up to 3.4.
Mm-hmm.
When I start yelling out numbers to somebody, and I've seen it happen, and you're going from 18 1/4 to 25.5.
It's a small number to a big number.
Yeah, and you're like looking at it and you're dialing, and I've seen
That makes
people
sense.
fuck that up to where I can go, it's 5.1. It's pretty simple. It's 2.6. It's, you like that noise? It simplifies that in my mind, and it absolutely simplifies. I shoot a lot. It simplifies people that don't shoot a lot.
I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
Yes. And it's a smaller graduation because, like, say a 300 Ultra, it's like the faster in Ultra is like 18 minutes to get to 1,000. And it's like, I think it's right at 4.
Yeah.
4.5.
And then too, like the 20, if you're at like 26 minutes or something like that, you have to come off into your second rev.
Yes.
And then you're going to have to, it's not a 26 now, it's a 6. And you got to know which rev you're on. So that makes sense at long range.
Yes. And I would say half of our arguments don't matter at the shorter shit.
Yeah.
Form would argue with me on that, on the semantics, but to me, like shooting, everything got more complicated when I started shooting past 600 yards, especially telling somebody else what to do, that you kind of pick up. And then now you have the shooting school and you see it in larger number. You're like, yeah, this mistake does happen, and it happens often. It's like a repeated mistake. So it's not, if it's just happening to you, you're like, oh, is it just me? But now we're seeing it in bigger statistical values. Yeah. Fucking those mistakes happen a lot. And that's why we use F1 and MILS for me.
Yep.
So.
Also, I mean, another thing, if you have 7 MOA scopes and you don't want to sell all those and switch to MIL, sometimes you got to stick with what you know.
Are you going to take, like, I can see both sides of this. That's why it's like hard for me, because me and Tanya merked a lot of shit with a X5 Swaro. And an X5 Swaro don't pass the drop test. But I'm super diligent about checking zero. Animals, we shoot elk. Elk are fucking huge. So you can your gun can lose zero a little bit and still kill the animal. And we did use a calculator. So we were just taking MOAs. And I was standing next to Tanya until now. Tanya does it all on her own now, but I would turn it. So it didn't matter if it was 23.25 or 29.5. I was doing the dialing.
Yeah.
And so we're not saying you can't do it. People do it every year. And you're right. If you have fucking spent your time and effort to get 7 fucking MOA scopes, you learn how to use them really well.
Yeah.
Don't find new ones.
I would say you're so experienced with MOA that throwing a MIL in there at the end and keeping all the other shit probably cause you more problems than anything.
It will. And you do have to spend time with that new equipment to get used to it. So I see both sides of it.
I have some rifles with MOA and some with MIL.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, I'm not going to go hunting because I have an MOA scope now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Go fucking hunting. If the difference between buying a tag or switching scopes, go fucking hunting.
Yeah.
And we don't say that enough either, I don't think.
Yeah.
Enhance your shooting experience with STOCKY'S stocks. Are you tired of struggling with mediocre rifle stocks that hinder your performance? Imagine having a high-quality rifle stock that not only enhances your accuracy, but also provides superior strength and a lightweight build. STOCKY'S Stocks offers a wide range of premium rifle stocks manufactured with hand layup carbon fiber construction, a patented carbon fiber AccuBlock, and multiple finish options. Whether you're a long-range shooter or a hunting enthusiast, our stocks are perfect for you. Experience unmatched precision and durability with STOCKY'S stocks. We provide stock installation instructions, technical support, and guidance to help you choose the right stock for your rifle. Upgrade your shooting game today with STOCKY'S stocks.
Go fucking hunting.
Go fucking hunting.
All right, I got this one.
Yeah, this is all about you right there.
Okay, because she wants us to answer this next one.
Oh.
Can you guys do a podcast on wind brackets? Heard a bit of it on Exo's cast. It's interesting. Would love to get more familiar with that. Thanks for the great content. I think we're going to save that one for a forum.
We are, but I thought Forum did a Forum Friday on wind brackets.
Probably.
We'll have to look that up. We may have one, but I did ask, we should go through Forum Junior to get to Forum, but he doesn't say much. He's a man of few words, Forum Junior. But he's going to do, we're going to have the shooting school, right? But one of the things that we're getting out of this shooting school is there's going to be a lot of like little tidbits of free knowledge that we're going to put into a blog. And we had talked about this, and hunting season's here. So, I mean, I would wait till December, January for this to happen, but we're going to start putting like wind brackets, quick drop into a blog.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the bigger part. If you want to learn, nuts and bolts from the beginning to the end, take the whole class, but we'll have tidbits, and wind brackets was one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Coming soon.
So we'll go to this one up top here. So if you were to start a reloading business in this tumultuous environment, how would you do it, and what would you focus on? Would you focus on selling boxes of ammo or load development for clients' rifles? This is for Kevin Ullman. Shit. So obviously we did start as a reloading business / load development. That's all that we did.
I'll let you finish.
Yeah. I would tell you that today, we just had our 5-year anniversary on October 1st, and today, making ammo and load development is the smallest part of the business. You have to have very specific insurance. You have to have training programs in place. There are so many moving parts to an ammunition business that it's very difficult to get off the ground, let alone continue. Like I said, it's so difficult for us that we literally are moving away from doing it entirely, except for it's a part of business. So if you're building rifles, you need to offer load development and ammunition for your own stuff. We have a long database basically of existing customers that we load for, but I just heard a comment the other day, you guys don't have very much ammo on the website anymore. It's never in stock. Well, we load enough ammo as it is at the moment that we're trying to get away from selling. Custom ammo is very confusing for 95% of the guys shooting ammo. Some of the cartridges that we load, like 28 Nosler, they're well over SAMI spec because 28 Nosler shoots like shit at SAMI spec. So we load it the way it should be loaded. And oftentimes in a production rifle, that might not fit in the mag box. It might run into their lands because they have a short chamber. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go on with that. But to go back to that, I mean, I would start the business under other terms somehow, and then maybe add in ammo as a, I'm literally going through this insurance debacle right now at the moment because we have gunsmithing, manufacturing, loading ammo, and so on. That's very specific insurance, especially if you're going to have a property and things like that. So I guess my real answer, dude, is I'd probably find a different business to start with, because it'd be very difficult if you don't have the support of free labor, if you don't have the support of a massive viral situation in the whole planet where everybody bought every piece of ammo and gun that was sitting on the shelves like we did. I'm talking about COVID. There's a lot of reasons why the business was able to turn into what it is today. And if COVID never happened, we wouldn't be here. If I didn't have kids to load ammo, we wouldn't be here. And if I didn't take all the load developments for all the rifles that wouldn't shoot for all those guys and spend fucking 5 trips a day to the shooting range, things like that, like there's a lot of reasons why we wouldn't be here. So I would probably tell you, not because I'm in the business, I actually want to get out of that part of the business. I would tell you it's very difficult, and you better be a damn good businessman, a damn good shooter, a damn good loader. Guys will call you all the time. You gotta, you have to sell them the reason why you load ammo better and so on. And that's been tough.
I'm glad that Jake loaded ammo, or I would never would have met him. But if you were like, I was on the outside looking in, the amount of stress that it takes, because you're dealing with, I'll say a majority of them are fucking assholes when you're dealing with people about their guns, and it's never good enough. You have to have enough components on the shelf to be relevant in the rounds that they want to make. They always want something you don't have. So you'll be fucking loading ammo and then I want to try a 127 LRX. Well, you don't fucking have any. So you have to buy that knowing that you just may lose your ass on that. They may or may not purchase that round. That round may not shoot. It's almost like a no-win situation to me from the outside looking in. And I know talking to Jessica, it caused a lot of stress. You had not freeloading kids. You had free loading from your kids. Your mother and father-in-law have helped a ton. It's super fucking labor intensive.
Yeah.
And it sounds good. It's another thing that sounds good on paper. And I bring shit to Jake and I bring shit to fucking Ken all the time that sound good on paper to me, but the actual R&D and actual labor and getting that shit done, it's not feasible and it's definitely not cheap.
No.
Well, fuck, to start up an ammunition company right now sounds great on paper, but the headaches involved, they have no clue.
No.
They have no clue.
Yeah.
And then the load dev is its own monster. And you have to either do it yourself, which is how can you fucking serve a customer at a grand level? It's easy when you have onesie twosies, but when you took off and you have 50 fucking customers want load dev, how are you going to shoot the rifles and talk to those fucking people? It's almost impossible.
Yes.
So it sounds great. I fucking sure wouldn't do it.
Like you said, labor intensive, everything is done by hand. That kind of kills you in the beginning. I mean, if it's a different type of ammo business, if you're going to load, Reman 9mm and you're going to buy, spent brass and sort it and clean it and do all that kind of shit, that's a different kind of ball game. Generally what we do now today is we get all the one-offs. Guys want to shoot hammer bullets, or they want to shoot McGuire ballistics, or they want to shoot a bullet that's simply not available in whatever combination that they're looking for. So we deal with a lot, or guys just want really good brass. Like they want to shoot ammo with ADG brass. Well, you simply can't buy that ammo unless you go through a loader like us. So,
and if it doesn't work, then you eat the shit.
Dude,
you eat that.
We have stacks on stacks on stacks of ammo that was loaded that never went anywhere. Like it's the sample area.
Or in another thing that happens, because I see these guys, I talk to them on Rockslide. They'll have a rifle that they claim doesn't shoot. You'll get it back, give it to Nick. Nick will fucking shoot a fucking half-minute.
Fucking hammers.
And you're like, you also have to account for the fucker on the end that can't shoot. And I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I would say the third of your people can't shoot the ammo they have as good as Nick can.
Yeah.
And that's any gun company.
So I will just run through this real quick. So the process, if you wanted to start that business for yourself, so you have to have an FFL 07 in order to be a manufacturer. If you don't want to deal with any SOT shit, but you would get an SOT2 attached to that if you wanted. But start off, so here in the state of Idaho, if you're in the city of Post Falls, you start off with an LLC. Then you have to have some type of formation agreement on file. Then you would get an EIN, which is a employer identification number that's attached to your social security number for federal tax reasons. And then with those two documents, you guys can go open up a bank account as a business bank account. Then comes, website, some type of wholesale distributors to gather up all your components, some type of calculation that you do to determine the retail prices of that ammo with the prices of all four components in there: powder, primer, brass, and bullet, along with the labor time involved and all the overhead of your business and the fact that you need to make money to continue, some type of equation for that. And so when we opened up, so we just had our 5-year anniversary on 10/1. When I opened up on 10/1/19, I already had an Instagram in place for about 6 months. The website was all done and polished, and we turned it on that day. And the only thing we sold in the first week was a hat to a friend.
I was going to say, probably somebody you knew. Yeah.
And back in those days, every time an order came in, just one order, man, it was new order.
Everybody's excited.
Everybody's fucking pumped, right? And then it didn't take long to catch on, like I said, because of COVID. Like we were right when COVID started, and that whole drive to buy every gun and piece of ammo on the fucking shelves helped us to grow.
Yeah.
Partner up with good brass manufacturers. We were one of first, ADG's first big accounts, and we were buying like like 8 boxes of brass at a time was what we could afford.
Meeting Ryan Avery.
Yeah, that was a big time. Every little bit along the business line, you're not a little bit because you're still here, right? There are things that happen along the line that are like force multipliers. And then there are those hurdles that you get over. It wasn't even 2 or 3 months into business. We were called Alpha Unknown, and we got served a cease and desist letter from Alpha Munitions. So I had to rebuild the entire business to Unknown Munitions, right in the start of it. And you talked about having components on hand. So you got to have enough capital to buy brass, powder, primer, and bullets of a wide enough assortment that people want to buy from you, that you have what they need.
And I don't think people grasp, unless they've had a small business, the stress. Because you're ordering all this shit having no fucking idea when they'll be fulfilled.
So we just had this funny story.
Yes.
So, that was I guess I could talk about this now because it's 100% go, but we are putting in a titanium printer in the shop here, and it's going to be its own business, and it took a lot of work to raise the funds to afford $1 million machine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the beginning, when I'm talking about, I had $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
That was to buy tooling, do everything that I needed to do, and everything I needed to load the ammo. Like, all I was working with was $50,000 cash in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And that went really quickly. But so I built the whole business, and right when I was ready to start spending money, I told my wife, I'm about to blow all this $50,000. It's going to take me like 1 day. Right, because I had everything planned out. I was planned to a T. There were lots of Excel sheets.
That's what. Oh, I have no doubts about it.
Yes.
That's when shit gets real, though. I imagine when you tell Jessica, this $50,000 will be gone in the week.
Just like that.
Yeah.
She fucking completely breaks down.
Yeah.
Crying, everything else. And I told her, she knows this story. I told her I've told it already, but she literally breaks down crying. And I told her, I said, I've gone this far. I said, with or without your support, I'm doing it. And of course, she's very happy now. Well, somewhat happy. It's still a job.
Yeah, it's touch and go.
It's touch and go. But, obviously you had to make that first decision and take that first risk to get to this. Sorry. So I got to interact with this group of investors, and I won't tell too much of the details, but it's a husband and wife. And it was a lot of similar fear from the wife in this pairing, as we're talking through the business structure, and I'm showing business plans and Excel sheets and all these things that we plan to do and walking them through the process. And she had to be reaffirmed a few times. And it was kind of those, I could see in her eyes on this, on these Zoom calls, that she had kind of the same, it was the same thing with my wife back then as it was with her right now. And, luckily I don't want to say it's an easy sell, but it's much easier to sell an extension of a established business to somebody than it is to do a fucking startup. Like, if you only had just one little thing that you were trying to do and you're trying to sell it to an investor with no experience and nothing backing up what you're trying to do, man, that would be a hard sell. But we have a lot of good friends. We have a lot of partner businesses and a lot of pull in a way that I can make it sound really good, which it is really good. It's a great idea. So, it was somewhat an easy sell. But yeah, she needed that reaffirmation. So I guess that's part of this whole question that he's asking, getting up off the ground and taking that fucking initial risk to drop all that cash, not knowing what the result's going to be. That's tough.
And you got to, it's like a cliche, dude, but you got to eat shit for a long time, man. You do. You have to, when we started Rock Slide, again, I'll go back to the same kind of thing Jake said. There's 30, 40 forums started today. None of those make it. Percentage make a forum makes it. A lot of luck and time. Mm-hmm. I was working 40 hours a week shredding and working 40 to 45 hours a week on Rock Slide with the hope. You had all you had is hope, man. You hope people start seeing it and buying it and looking at it.
Now hard work does increase your hope factor.
Yes.
It is a lot. And I think I still eat all the shit sandwiches for the most part. That never goes away either. You are, as the business owner, you are ultimately responsible no matter how many employees you have or what happens in the business. Mm-hmm. You are still the toilet. So,
you're the catch-all, dude.
Yes.
Every day there's more shit piled on you. You could clean your fucking inboxes out. Next day you got a big pile of shit again.
Yeah.
But the other thing about it is it's small business, the stress never goes away.
No.
Because when you had your job at Prevo where I was shredding, and I know that chances are banks are going to need shit shredded tomorrow. Chances are fucking the buses are going to break down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a job. And in the end, you fucking actually end up getting shit canned because of COVID.
Yes.
Which you've talked about.
Yeah.
But there's more security in these bigger corporations to where you are your own security when you own your own business. So
yeah.
It's highs and lows, man.
But there is no other feeling like coming to work for yourself.
Well, I'm unemployable now, so I couldn't go back to the workforce, but I agree. Not to mention, it's when you do something that's really good, you pretty much we have a lot of partnership stuff going on, but you're a big cause of why it's successful, I guess. Mm-hmm. And there is a pride, gratitude.
I have my own little parties in the office when good things happen all the time. There are times when Jessica just wants to breeze right by shit, and I say, you need to stop for a second and enjoy this little moment.
And
Yep.
I'm bad about that too. Like I've learned from you on that aspect is you got to take the wins. Yeah.
Well, that's what they say. Like the whole working out. If you can't enjoy the journey, then you're not going to enjoy the results. Basically, because it's a long journey.
Well, that was a very long answer.
Ah, shit. All right,
On to the next.
you got it.
We're missing one. Go up a little bit.
Yeah.
We already did that one.
Yeah, you're on that follow. You're on the
Follow
follow-up
up on how the carnivore diet went and what would you tweak, Ryan Stokes?
Huh.
Well, Jake was out with the gout in like 20 days ish.
21, motherfucker.
21 days Jake was out with the gout. And then I made it today. Fuck, I just talked about this the other day. 51, and I threw in the towel, but I'd lost 22 pounds. What I would do different is my problem. This isn't Jake's problem. I think Jake would have been a little better off because Jake is better at cooking variety. I'm not. A, I don't like cooking. B, I love to eat, but I don't like the cooking part. Tanny doesn't love cooking. She likes the eating part. You have to get more variety than just fucking eating steaks, like in fish. Like there's a lot of, I wouldn't say cheat codes. Ryan Lamperts would say cheat codes, but there's a lot of little cheating things you can do that keep you in the carnivore. And it wasn't pure carnivore, it was animal based. And I think if I could cook better, like you make those fucking cheese burritos that are good. I never did that. Getting a variety of shit outside of just fucking meat, eggs, and fish would help me. It would help me a lot.
So I think that, well, some carnivore diet technically is supposed to remove the variety for the most part, right? So the variety is what you crave. It's not part of the diet, basically.
Correct.
And for me, I eat somewhat healthy. Like I have a high protein diet because I like to lift and stuff. So generally it's chicken and rice or beef and rice or beef and potatoes. And we don't do a lot of veggies. It's pretty much a starch and a meat. And it's a lot more meat than starch. So I think with that diet, it didn't, it's the whole ketosis factor, like either being in ketosis or not being in ketosis. I would like to have some avocado and some potato and some rice and things like that in the diet. And I would still say that it's healthy. Mm-hmm. It's not the carnivore diet, but I wouldn't do the carnivore diet again, obviously, because there was the gout part of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I try to eat healthy as it is. And as much, I would just say eat really high protein in your diet and just eliminate the bullshit. And you're going to get most people are going from eating that McDonald's in fucking Lewiston to, full carnivore diet. There is a little happy medium there, right? Like you are what you put in your mouth.
Maybe ramp up to a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah. Like just ease into that shit. And meal prepping goes a long way. So I've been doing meal prep with Jess every weekend for, the last 2 weekends. And she has so she's eating in a deficit in order to lose weight. She had her body scan done and they set her deficit at 1,700 calories and they break that down by fat, protein, and carbs.
That's all she can consume is 1,700 calories?
Yes.
What about if she fucking exercises?
Doesn't matter. That's the whole part of the losing weight part, right? Like she's already going to lose weight probably. That's probably half of what she normally ate. I bet you.
What is she burning today? What is her watch?
So yesterday she worked out 3 times yesterday.
Damn.
She went to the gym in the morning and then she went to the gym with me in the afternoon and then we did pickleball. So that was it. She was like 900 calories in just from the workouts. Active burning calories, but she's not counting that in her 1,700. So she's doing good. So yesterday she had 800 calories maybe.
How was it? How is it going? Is she hungry? Is she what is her diet?
No. So that's what I was going to talk about. So for that 1,700 calories, dude, so I'm literally doing the numbers for her when we're doing this. I could break it down pretty good, but, like 2 cups of chicken thighs and a half a bag of that Uncle Ben's, the orange bags of Uncle Ben's rice that's already ready cooked. So it's a pretty healthy portion of rice and 2 cups of cooked chicken. And then if you go to Walmart, there's a number of sauces that are somewhere between the 0 to 20 calorie range that make everything taste good. Now, I'm not going to go over it. They have shit ingredients in them.
Yeah.
But calorie-wise and carb-wise, the sauces are excellent. So like taco, so you can go to Walmart and get fucking Taco Bell hot sauce. And I can't remember whether that one is 0 or 10. I think that one's 0.
One's 10 and one's 0.
The mild, I think, is 10. The hot is 0. And I can't remember what the green is. But literally between 0 and 10, I'll dump a half a bottle of that shit on the chicken.
I walk into their office and there's this 5 cases of fucking hot sauce sitting on top of their microwave.
Yeah. So for her, she's getting 3 meals a day.
Okay, that's what I was going to
In the morning, I think she's doing, so Costco has a new protein in a can, and it's 30 grams of protein and 3 grams of carbs.
In a can?
In a can. It's a chocolate flavor.
How's it taste?
It's not sweet and it's not chocolatey. It's like very light chocolate, light sweet. So it's good.
How's it taste to the white one, which we all like?
Oh, dude. It's nothing like the Fairlife. So we like the Fairlife strawberry 42s.
Yeah.
Those are fucking badass. But that one has 8 grams of carbs.
Oh.
So, and then it's a little bit more calories too. So I think that can from Costco is 150 calories. So what she's doing now is she's getting her 4 shots of espresso on ice at Starbucks, and she dumps that can in there. So now she's got 30 grams of protein with her morning coffee. That's and a yogurt, like a 25-gram protein yogurt.
So what is her macro breakdown?
I don't know the exact. I don't have the total number of macro breakdown, but she's supposed to be getting 170 grams of protein. It was something like 80 carbs and about the same fat.
No shit, 80 carbs.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But of course, the idea is that she's burning it.
Yeah.
So it depends on your exercise level. The people that don't want to exercise, you need to have almost no carbs because you're going to get carbs somewhere in there. The enemy is the carbs at that point.
Right.
The protein's turning into muscle. So she's doing 2 cups of chicken thighs. We buy them at boneless, skinless chicken thighs at Costco, and I Traeger them. I buy 2 packs, and we just chop the shit out of it and then measure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then either rice or potato with sauce. This week, she did lettuce wraps. So we did a mixture of ground beef and elk, and it had this teriyaki sauce on it. It was like a 15-calorie teriyaki sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And then shredded carrot that's not cooked gives you some crunch, and then it's on a lettuce wrap. So she was able to get, it was, again, 2 cups of that meat with 4 tablespoons of sauce and shredded carrot and I think like 6 pieces of lettuce or whatever.
Gotcha.
And that totaled like 600 calories. So she's getting 2 meals like that, 1 lunch, 1 dinner. She's getting that breakfast set up. And then whatever else she has left over, she tries to fill it in if there's anything left over. And that's following all her macros and shit. So week one of diets usually lose a little bit more, except for she's already been doing this kind of gym routine with me for quite a while, but not able to lose weight. So I tried to tell her she's a snacker. And until she got down to ironing out these fucking details with me on the macros and whatnot, she realized now she's a snacker. Because she lost 6 pounds in the first week. And she's about to weigh in on Saturday for her second week. But
fuck yeah.
I don't know why we were talking. Why were we talking?
Carnivore.
Oh, the carnivore diet. So yeah, in the end, just do that. I mean, even if it's 2,500 calories or 2,000, whatever it is that you decide to do, you don't have to go from eating McDonald's all the way to carnivore. I think there's really happy mediums in there. And as long as you're cooking, if you're cooking your food and it's mostly shit that was the way it occurred on planet Earth, you're going to be well off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not manufactured.
And we're not fucking dietitians or anything here.
Fucking by no stretch. For me, if I was going to stay on it, the 2 things was consistency. And I think that there's a lot of what you said about meal planning. I think because once you start, by the time I'm hungry, I'm going to fucking eat whatever's around to where if I already had it, I wouldn't have to think about it.
The appetite almost seemed to disappear a little bit.
Yeah.
You had to force yourself.
You didn't shit and you didn't want to eat anything.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting part. And I didn't drink enough water. I think that you need to drink the fuck out of water and get some salt on the carnivore diet. All right. The next one. Favorite hunts. States you have hunted and why. There's 2 U's. Favorite, dude, I got so many favorite hunts that I couldn't even tell you in a fucking 10-hour podcast. I like hunting state of Idaho and I like hunting general units. Why? Because I can hunt them every year and I learn and know them. So I like my home state of Idaho and I like general fucking units because you can hunt them a lot and know the unit.
I'm a relatively new hunter. And in the beginning, I think, people are putting in for New Mexico. They're putting in for Arizona. They're putting in for Utah. They're putting in for Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. I probably covered most of it, but generally the western part of the country. And I kind of decided, like you're saying, the ability to drive to your hunting location, I think, is important. So you got to kind of set your limit on how far you're going to drive. And that's important because of how much time you can spend scouting or how much time you can actually spend on the hunt. And then getting meat back. Like if you got to fly meat back from somewhere and shit like that, it just becomes more complicated. So we kind of decided Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho because that's where I live. and we kind of focused on those states as far as buying points. So buying points in Wyoming and Montana. And then Idaho doesn't have a point system, but
Yes.
I don't know about all of the hunts are badass because most of what we do is, like you said, the over the counter, which means that it's a fucking epic mission, and there's always a shit show. There's always stuff that goes wrong. There's memorable parts of all, and I do most of it with my son.
Yes. Like the hunting stories is what's funny about it is I'll look at an animal or I'll see a picture and I'll remember something I haven't thought about in a long time.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me chuckle or makes me, whatever the situation was. But hunting is about the memories and about camaraderie. So I have thousands of hunting stories.
Mm-hmm. I guess one of the, like you just brought up earlier, the get out and hunt.
Go fucking hunting.
Like quit buying gear and go fucking hunt.
People, and I say this owning Rockslide, people worry about gear too much. Go fucking hunting. That's what the end goal is, to go hunting. And I say that, this is the least I've ever scouted and the least I've ever hunted is this year. A lot of things, moving pieces is why, but I feel that like in my butt and like my soul, I need to go hunting. I need to be in the woods. And we would rather fucking go look up a scope or a pair of pants or a shoes. No, go to the woods, go fucking hunting.
You are going out next week, right?
Yes, I'm nice. Pretty much the next 6 to 8 weeks is hunting. Thank God. Thank God.
Go.
What are the best 3 backpacks that you have used and why? Oof, I'll let you go first.
I don't have nearly the level of experience that Ryan and Form do with backpacks. I do have maybe some opinions because of how I got, good advice early on. So I really didn't go through any shit stuff. We're working on a pack right now with XO Mountain Gear, which is going to be badass. So XO Mountain Gear's up there with one of the best brands, Kifaru and Stone Glacier. I mean, if you were to pick, Ryan might say the same thing. If you were going to start with 3 brands, because each backpack really is tailored to the hunt that you're going on because of the capacity, the layout of the backpack, depending on if you're day hunting or 7-day hunting or whatever the situation is, rifle hunting versus bow hunting. So I would just say, the top 3 manufacturers would be those, Kifaru, XO, and Stone Glacier. And within each of those, I've had a few different Kifaru packs. My favorite is the Cutthroat. Again, that was because Ryan liked it and we got it. We've been using it. Make sure it fits you right with weight in it, and then just go from there. And then figure out the bag that you're going to put on the frame based on what type of hunt you're going on. You may have a 2-day hunt and you don't want a fucking 8,000 cubic inch bag on you, So anyways, good manufacturers to start with, and then tailor the backpack to the hunt that you're going on.
Great points. I see this too often, and backpacks are like boots. You shouldn't ask me what's your bag layout. You'll decide on what your bag layout needs to be, but you, being the guy that asked the question, and anybody that has this question, you need to go to a place where you can try these packs on with weight. You can ask me, you can ask Jake. We are built totally different. And if I lose weight, I'm built different than I was last year, or I gain weight. You gotta go fucking try these backpacks on and see what fits you, because I can tell you, oh, this Stone Glacier fits me fantastic. This Kifaru fits me fantastic. It may not fit Jake. So then he thinks, well, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Everybody has a body. Me and Jake have butts, so Kifarus fit us really well. I like internal frame packs. I always have, always went to those. They seem the most comfortable. Steve from XO sent me a frame. Fuck that frame.
K4.
Fuck, K4 is fucking nice.
Yep.
Fits me like a Kifaru. Like they're very similar in shape. So I would say, I wouldn't ask us why. I would go try on as many packs with 50 to 80 pounds in them as you can.
But try to stay in the mainstream shit, right? Don't jump over to like a Burla stock for your hunting pack.
Stock.
Yeah.
Everly stock.
Yeah. A Burla stock.
Everly stock. Well, there's tons out there. That may be the thing, but I will say this about Everly stocks, and Glenn doesn't like Rockslide. If it doesn't have load lifters and you're going to be a hunting backpack, move on.
The best hunting pack is probably not at Cabela's.
Not at Cabela's. It's sure the fucking at REI.
Yeah. I have seen some good shit at Shields. Shields carries a lot wider variety of brands. Yeah.
And there's like, are you going to just carry weight? The Barney's Freighter pack is fucking great if you're carrying big ass like moose quarters. But it's like, I would stick with hunting. Really, they support hunting. I want to support them. So Kifaru, Stone Glacier, and XO, they all make fantastic packs. Initial Ascent people really seem to like Initial Ascents. I do not love carbon frame sheets. They have a little fucking rigidity that has like a little bit of rebound when I walk. I don't know. It's just the way my fat ass walks. But you've got to go try them on. You can go to the expos. You can go to the sheep show. There's 5 or 6 shows that have all those manufactured. They have weight and they have packs that you can try on. They have weight and they can properly. Here's another big fucking problem. People do not properly adjust a pack to fit them. And I see it all the time. If you look at a person's pack and their harnesses in the fucking straps are 2 feet above their shoulders, and there's a gap you can stick a football through, probably not adjusted right. I see fucking influencers all the time repping a pack and their packs aren't even adjusted to them. Oh, this fucking pack fits great. No, it don't, bitch. You don't even have it on right. So the industry's a fucking lying machine. You are the only person that fucking gives a shit about what you're doing. Go try the pack on. Don't listen to us.
The Hunt Expo in Salt Lake City is a great spot. We pretty much go every year now, and that's a place where you're going to see everything in one roof.
Yep, the Hunting Expo in Salt Lake, and if you can't do that, the Sheep Show in Reno. All 4 companies are there, and I hear that everybody's at TAC too. If you're a bow hunter, go to TAC because they're all there.
We got to try to go to that one time then.
Fuck, I end up wounded somebody because I can't shoot straight. Yeah, try a pack on. Oh, we better hurry this shit up.
Oh, we're good. Well, how long are we in?
Hour 19.
Okay, it's going to be a long one. How to lighten your hunting pack. I've been on this quest, LOL, for about a year, slowly removing redundant safety items, reducing headlamps from 3 to 4 down to 1 to 2, reducing to just 2 to 3 solid ways to make a fire instead of many different, reducing how many extra batteries I bring in hopes of reducing my heavy day pack weight, Ryan Stokes. So how to lighten your hunting pack is really the question there.
We talked about this too. If I have this thing that's, I'm not an anal person, but I fucking everything in my backpack I've written down on my phone. If I do 2 trips and I don't use that product outside of my fire starter, it's out. It's out. So that's the easiest way. Start with a fucking light backpack. You know, if you can start with a backpack that's 4 pounds instead of 8 pounds, you've already fucking beat it by 50%.
Yeah.
So anything you don't use on 2 trips outside of emergency equipment, fucking get rid of it. I like the lightning strike. I don't carry a lighter anymore. The lightning strike looks like a little tampon. That's the fucking greatest fire starting fucking kit on planet Earth, in my opinion. So that'd be I don't have a lot to say there.
So we kind of started backpacking early on, and I was a lot of research into the ultralight shit. This is right when Z-Packs was starting, and they were still taking like custom orders. So I had a custom Z-Pack made and all kinds of shit. But so for the ounce counters or the gram counters, you're always supposed to start with your big 3 and then move from there. So you have your sleep system, which would be your ground sheet, your mattress, your pillow, your sleeping bag, anything related to sleeping. Then the next would be your tent and everything that goes with your tent. So that might be another ground sheet, depending on the size of the tent, all that kind of shit. And then you have your backpack. So you kind of start with those 3. And these guys, I mean, it gets all the way down to trimming extra, pieces of strapping off of your packs and things that maybe pockets that you don't use, or maybe even not using steel nylon sacks to divide up your gear, and just cutting your toothbrush in half. Hey, how about drying out fucking baby wipes? That secret was from the ultralighters back in the day. So I like to wipe with baby wipes out there. So we literally dry them out, and it's just as light as toilet paper, but they're way more durable and so on.
You're getting into, like, if you start, there's, like we just said, go hunting, but if you start getting into ultra lightweight shit, it's all about money.
Yes.
You want fucking Dyneema, it's twice as much as steel nylon.
Yeah.
If you want fucking this jacket, that's a fucking down jacket, that's the fucking newest, latest, greatest, it's twice as much than a fucking synthetic jacket, insulated jacket.
I think for hunting, though, compared to backpacking, so one of the big sacrifices right away is the pack weight. You're going to have to be satisfactory with something that weighs 4 pounds or more, or it's not going to haul fucking elk quarters around. So you give it up there. And I think the Cutthroat's probably one of the lightest, most durable packs that I've.
4 pounds.
Yeah, 4 pounds for the Kifaru Cutthroat. But if you're just starting your gear, just buy from the start knowing that you're trying to be lightweight, if you're trying to walk further or whatever. But the cheapest weight to remove is actually the fat on your ass. So you can start there. But
absolutely.
So a Kifaru Cutthroat would be, keep that weight in mind. When you're buying a sleeping bag, if you only want one sleeping bag, that's tough. So I sleep cold. I like a 0 degree. Some guys sleep hot. They can take a 30 degree anywhere, but Western mountaineering is a really good manufacturer. What's that? The new Zenbivy.
Zenbivy. They just came out with an ultralight, but the thing is, like, again, you're chasing ounces, so they're not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sleep super hot, so I fucking use a 30-degree and -5. It's like you got to figure out also who you are as a fucking hunter and sleeping, how far you're going in. Another thing that people add in, the ultralight hikers, we have optics.
Yep.
Optics are fucking heavy.
Gun, everything else.
Yeah, you have so much extra shit there that you can definitely save weight, but it's going to cost money.
You can shave pounds off of a rifle. Your food and your water is probably going to weigh the most in the end, depending on how many days you're going in. It's usually about 2 pounds of food per day.
Yep.
So these guys are shaving grams off of shit, but you're carrying 2 pounds of food a day.
And I see a whole bunch they do bag dumps on Rockslide. They do bag dumps on YouTube, and people they fucking pack what ifs, and what ifs get fucking heavy.
Yeah.
You fucking start packing. You don't need 2 pairs of pants.
No.
Hell, I don't even take 2 pairs of underwear. You can ask for them.
I definitely have 2 pairs of underwear.
I have the only thing I have 2 pairs of is socks.
Yeah.
I don't take, and people overpack clothes, like warm clothes. And that just tells me you need to go practice this shit. Like when hunting's not going on, like go winter hiking, go early spring hiking. You can go summer hiking, but you don't get the full effect, but you can test your shit. But people overpack fucking insulation pieces.
Clothes, I think, for sure. And that goes back to the whole idea of I want to be comfortable, and you're trying to bring everything with you.
Yeah, the fucking what if thing, or the fucking, what do they call it? The idea fairy. It just, people just keep packing fucking more and more shit because what if? Mm-hmm. What if this happens? Well, chances are that ain't going to happen. I've been in the woods hundreds and hundreds, if not 1,000 nights, and the boogeyman's really not out there. They're not. I've yet to see Bigfoot. I keep looking.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking test your shit before you're actually hunting too. I think that's the biggest thing. And people say, well, I live in Texas. Well, Texas gets cold in the winter. Get your tent set out back in your yard, or fucking borrow your neighbors, whoever, if somebody has property, go try your shit out. Definitely try your food out. Yeah. Food sucks.
And sometimes the lighter weight gear is not always the best performing gear, especially when it comes to rain gear and things like that. So until you're actually in a downpour and you don't get to leave that night, you might consider some places to invest in the weight rather than try to be lighter.
Yeah, rain gear is one thing that for some reason the ultralight people, you see these new ultralight 3-layered stuff coming out, and that shit's going to fail you when you need it the most. Tyler Frill has the best explanation when some Sitka gear failed him. So test your shit before it matters.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hit it.
Which one are we on? Explain why UM doesn't like 7 PRC and offers loads. And nobody ever fucking said we don't like 7 PRC.
So to go back though, so I haven't added 7 PRC as a cartridge on the website.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I haven't. But this goes back to like what we talked about earlier, is we've been trying to move away from ammo, not load development necessarily, but move away from ammo. And that's probably the reason why that hasn't been like top on the priority list, is to get more cartridges of ammo loaded on the website. But we do load 7 PRC. We do like 7 PRC. In fact, the rifle that's on the table right now is a 6.5/7 PRC, which I guess is still a 7 PRC if you think about it. But we do load it. We do offer loads. So just shoot us an email and we'll load for you.
People have to get tripped up on not like and don't prefer. It's like that's different.
Yeah.
I don't hate 7 mags. It may sound like I do. I don't prefer them.
Yeah.
Will they kill shit? Absolutely.
If you just take the 6.5, the 7, and the 300 PRC, you can almost recommend something to anybody on the planet that will fill their needs.
Yep.
And it's usually the smaller of the 3. The 7 PRC's kind of changed the game a little bit, I think, but 6.5 PRC is a pretty easy button for a lot of people.
You certainly should sell the shit out of that brass for not liking it.
Well, yeah, we do sell a lot of fucking brass. Yeah.
All right. Fuck, I think we're almost done. We got 2 more.
Okay. A spinoff of number 4 could be safety while hunting. I've been meaning to take a wildland first aid course, but keep putting it off. My lack of knowledge in the medical world has resulted in me packing a lot of first aid gear that didn't need to be in my bag. I was told about a year ago that while hunting, you just need to be able to stop bleeding and stabilize a limb bone because you just need to be able to get to medical treatment. Also carry an inReach.
Larry, we had this question and beat this horse. Larry Bartlett, he was a special operations medic, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But he did a kind of a thing for us, and he said, you need a tourniquet, you need a bandage basically to pressure dressing, and a big bag of weed. He said everything else is going to need a SOS button. and that he's not wrong.
What's the big bag of weed for?
To mellow the fuck out.
Say the first ones again.
He said you need a tourniquet.
Okay.
Some kind of a pressure dressing Band-Aid.
Yeah, like a Israeli bandage.
Yep. And a big bag of weed.
And how about like a 10-pack of Vicodin? I guess the weed kind of fills in the pain relieving part.
Basically said, like, he's like, suturing yourself is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
There's no point in suturing yourself in the backcountry.
Yeah.
He said, because that wound probably needs to be cleaned out. And when you get back, it's going to have to be reopened up and re-cleaned out. You're going to get infection. But he's saying pretty much we cannot, outside of fucking if it's catastrophic, we got to get out of there.
Mm.
If it's minor, those two things can basically fix it.
Yeah.
Anything else, you're hitting the SOS button to get out.
I guess we could talk about so if you have an iPhone 14 or newer with the new iOS 18, the Apple's taken on the whole satellite communication thing. And I talked to you about this yesterday or the day before. I did like the demo. It basically requires, first of all, you have to be upgraded to the iOS 18 and you have to be a 14 or newer. So there's 14, 15, and 16 now for the iPhone model. I don't think it matters what model, like Pro or otherwise.
Did you try it?
All I did was the demo. So I haven't, it basically won't let you try it for real until you're literally off Wi-Fi and cell. Even if you turn them off on your phone, it doesn't let you do it. Not when I tried it.
So that's when I went.
But you were just off.
elk hunting, and here's my beef with it, and they'll fix this.
Yeah.
Why I wouldn't give my inReach for another year is you do not know for certain, even if that green light's out, and they've even stated in their little contract that it goes out.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to wait for, I think it's green. You got to wait till that little fucking satellite icon goes green.
Well, you're literally pointing, it's guiding you to point your phone at a satellite.
And then it goes green and you hope it goes. It took Tanya 6 hours, or maybe 4 hours. I don't remember, 4 or 6 hours to get the message.
Mm.
She got my iPhone message within 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Or my inReach message within 2 minutes.
I have the opposite experience. Usually the inReach takes a long fucking time.
It just depends on where you're at in the satellite. All the
and then
bullshit.
like the order that the messages come in.
Yeah, that is really fucked up. But what I do like about the inReach is I can send it and walk away.
Yeah.
Where I got to stand there and hope and wait, and then it's green. Does it go? And then you move a little bit and it turns itself off. And you're like, fuck. And you got to move. They'll fix that.
Yeah.
It'll be just like the inReach, in my opinion, within the year.
They're also saying that it's covered for the first 2 years after phone purchase, but I haven't read anywhere where they talked about what the plan's going to cost once it's 2 years or older.
Well, and I was reading quite a bit about it. It sounds like they're going to have a phone, like a voice option.
Yep.
Just like a sat phone, which pretty much eliminates that whole industry.
Yes.
So they're on the clock. That's why they came out with the Garmin fucking Chrono.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, but I mean, basically what you're saying, don't give up your inReach as a backup or as your primary, using the iPhone as a backup, or just test, not for another year.
I'd give it a year.
Yeah.
Just because it's like beta. You're a beta tester right now. And
Yeah.
I don't want to have my emergency be a beta test situation.
Yep.
So.
Okay, I guess we're done.
Are we done?
Crushed it.
I got one more thing I want to talk about. The fucking phone scopes, Digiscoping. You got the all-in, you got the mag view. You got
Okay, you're not talking about the phone scope brand, just Digiscoping
I'm just
in
talking
general.
Digiscoping in general.
Yeah.
I have this one that I've been testing out, and it's out in the world. It's called on-glass adapters, and the thing I like about it is you just put the magnet on any case. It's not on this case. I have no different case because this is. I fucking hate the cost outside of the phone scope. Phone scope stuff's cheap, but their fucking adapters are huge, and you got to use put it in your pocket. It's a pain in the ass. Same with all-in my opinion. Same with MagnaView. I think it's MagnaView. This on-glass adapter literally is just a little square you put on you glue to your fucking case.
Okay.
And it's been working fantastic. So I'll keep you up to date. And it's fucking cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
I do like the Olin, but there's a couple things. Is if you have the Olin case on your phone, you can't take regular pictures because it's blocking one of them.
Can't use the light.
It does, go outside of the normal phone footprint, so it's fucked up in your pant pocket or whatever. And I got the big motherfucker, so
yep. And you can't use your light. It's a cheap fucking phone case.
Yeah.
I fucking broke 2 of them, and you got to buy a new one. I don't remember what their warranty was, but I was outside of their warranty. That fucking phone case and the adapter are like $200.
It is really not. What I do like about it is that it just snaps on, and it has like that. It's either 90 degrees or 90 degrees kind of thing. The little ring that goes on all of your optics, is pretty straightforward, and I do like it too. It was the best thing I've used so far.
I like it. I don't love it. I
Yeah.
don't like the cost, and I think they need a better phone case.
Better phone case, yeah.
And you like if you, well, I'll fucking have more information. It's out there. You can go order it on glass. Been around for 2 years. I've never seen one till about 3 weeks ago. I was like, fuck, for $100, you're fucking pretty much set to go.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is like $180, $200. Not
Yeah.
Phone Scope, but Phone Scope has a whole other problem. So, anyways, check it out. It's on glass adapters.
Okay. What else we got?
Oh, schools.
Okay, so today is October 3rd. You guys will probably hear this in a week or so, but we did just put up finally live the Red Sand Safaris Africa in the bush hunt/training school, shooting school. 6 spots, $79.95, just so you don't have to go look and see how much it is. 8 days, so 4 days of school, 4 days of hunting. That price includes a large and medium plains game species. So you could shoot a zebra and a warthog, as an example. You could shoot a kudu and an impala, as an example. That's included in the price. All of your alcohol, drinks, food, lodging, and transportation is also included in the price. So that's pretty much everything other than getting yourself there and tips and $150 for your, basically it's a guy that helps you get your rifle in really, really easily. So it's a very well spent $150. And if you want to shoot more animals when you're there, that's also doable. You got to range ahead of time. If you want to bring your wife as a non-hunter shooter, there are half of the spots available for that. So 3. There may be a slight little upcharge. I don't have the exact quote from Neil yet, but it's going to be small because basically it's just extra food at that point.
And you can also make sure you check the prices on the things you're going to shoot, because you'll be driving around and something will catch your eye, and some like a sable.
Yep.
An oryx. Check the prices.
Oryx is included.
Oh, is it?
As your large, if that's what you want.
No shit.
That's the straight pointy horn guy. But basically what he's saying is Red Sand Safaris has a price list. Just put it on your phone and save it as a favorite, because you're going to be driving around and you'd be like, that's the biggest water buck I've ever seen, and you may want to shoot it, so on. But
and you don't even know, like, I didn't know half this shit existed. Like, you told me I was going to shoot a diker, I'd say you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And then I did.
Shoot a fucking world-class diker.
Yeah, and that's a small.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, check it out. It's I think I fought this for years, but everybody should go to Africa at least once if you fucking enjoy hunting.
It was amazing.
And the winter class is online.
If you love being uncomfortable and you want to go play in the snow and get yelled at by form, this is the class for you.
Make sure you read.
If you want to try snowshoeing, if you want to try cross-country skiing, if you want to try cross-country skiing while hunting for a bear, and you want to be able to shoot it, this is the class for you.
You know, I'm interested to see how this class fills up.
Yeah.
Make sure you read the fine print. If you haven't taken the 0 to 600 class yet, you've got to come early on Friday and do 2.5 days of classes.
Yes.
And then you have your 5 days of the winter class.
Yeah.
If you've taken the 0 to 6, you can just come on Sunday and start the class.
If you're like the guy that wants to test out all his gear before he goes hunting, this is a great opportunity because shit's going to get wet.
Yes, it's going to be fucking cold. Montana in February is not pleasant. You got to be in moderate shape. You got to be able to walk. If you're a guy that needs a cane or a hover round, it ain't for you.
No. We do have snowmobiles for emergencies.
Yep.
But emergencies only.
Oh, you're going to go through some pain with old Four Malicious before he lets you hit the SOS button.
Yeah, that's right.
Huh, Form Junior. So yeah, go check out those 2 schools. They're up, they're live, and I imagine, I say this often, they'll probably fill up and sell out fast. So if you're thinking about it, don't think too long.
We did get some questions recently on additional spots for 0 to 6, but we're not going to do any more for 2024, for 2025. When 2025 actually gets here, we will probably open up 2026 at that point.
Yes. And still, I've had 2 people ask me in the last 2 weeks about cancellation. Email marketing@shoothunt.com. Tell Luke you want to be on the cancellation list. Right now, I think there's 3 people ahead of you. So shit happens. We had 2 people cancel, I think, last year.
Yeah, very last minute.
Yep. So people cancel and be ready. If you want to come, let us know. Anything else on that shit?
That'll do it.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, guys.